Okay, let's get started with our card. For today's card, we are going to be using this Blackberry Bliss paper. This is a quarter sheet of paper cut to 4 1/4 by 5 1/2. And we're going to use this sheet of paper from the Plaid Tidings set, which is on sale until October 31st for, I think, 15% off. We're just going to use an 1 1/4" strip of this. I also have a half sheet of paper that we're going to use for our card base. Then we have several other pieces. These are the wrapped in texture embossing folders, and I'm going to use this little basket weave folder here. Now these are sized to fit into the upcoming little mini die cutting machine, and these are just the perfect size to go through there. The sentiments for today's card, it is a get well card, and I'm going to be using this set from the Itty Bitty Greetings stamp set. There are actually 2 different sets of stamps here, and we're going to use the Hope You're Feeling Better and a little hello. Now, I needed something that was small and narrow to go fit on the bottom of the card, as well as on the inside. Another get well sentiment is here in Gorgeous Posies, which is my absolute favorite card kit out of the annual catalog, and this has a nice get well soon. However, it was kind of big for what's going to be the inside of the card, and it wasn't going to fit on the outside, but this is another very nice get well sentiment. Now, this piece came from Autumn Greetings, and I will put a link up in the show notes up above, the little eye in the corner, and that will be to my other video where I showed you how I colored this, and I will actually add the footage of how I colored it to the very end of this video. For those of you that don't want to sit and watch me color, I will attach that to the end of the video. Now in that video I had used Cajun Craze for the flowers, but this one I wanted to be a little bit lighter, and so I used Poppy Stampin' Blends markers on this one because I thought that was real pretty, just a little bit brighter and cheerier for a get well card. Now this was stamped on very vanilla cardstock. The other piece that we're going to use out of here is this really awesome little edge die, and this creates just a nice scalloped little border that we're going to use to cut the bottom of the card here. So let's get started. Very first thing that I'm going to do is I'm going to cut an 1 1/4" piece off of the Plaid Tidings paper here, and that gives me a nice strip for along the bottom of the card. I absolutely love this paper. Now I do need to take off a 1/2 inch because this is 6 inches wide, and I'm going to take off a 1/4 inch from each side to give it a little bit of symmetry. And that way, when you see the plaid, you'll see on each side that there's an equal amount that's been removed. I just think that makes a nicer finish on the card. Now the other thing that we're going to do is, I'm not going to cut the paper here. I'm actually going to use the die. The die only has a cutting edge on one side and these little teeny tiny dots. So in order to figure out where that needs to go, I'm going to measure about 1 inch up, and the inch is where the bottom of the teeth are going to be. And I'm just going to put a little tick mark with a piece of pencil. Now I can align my die on my cardstock so that the bottom edge of the teeth is right at that 1 inch mark. And again, I want to kind of eyeball and center the die so that you're not having the edge chop off in the middle of the thing here. I'll be right back with this. The next thing that I'm going to do, you can see this has real nice little zigzags here, is we're going to run this through the embossing folder, and I'm going to align it in here so that it's right along. You can see this edge that the die made, and I'm going to align this right along there so that we're not embossing the little zigzags. And I will be right back with this. Okay, there we go. Now the next thing that we want to do is take our half sheet of paper, and we want to give this a good score. I'm going to score that at 4 1/4 inches. Now before I do anything, I do want to stamp on the inside of the card. And I'm going to take the Hope You're Feeling Better. We're going to stamp that right in the middle between where this is going to go and where our score line is. Okay, now we can adhere pattern paper to the inside of the card. Now, because we cut this and this edge, we cut off about 1 1/4 inches, I'm also going to trim that much off of the front of the card base. And we can set that aside and we can use that for the sentiment on the front. Now this piece will be just a slight bit larger than that, and that way you can see the pretty little dots down on the bottom here without having the white card in the way. Our pretty flower here is going to sit right in the middle, and I am going to raise that up on some dimensionals because this card does need a little bit of height and visual interest. There we go. Now the only thing that we need to do is we have this little strip of paper that we're going to take a little hello, the littlest of little hellos. Okay, I'm going to take the piece that we cut off here. This was that 1 1/4 inch strip, and I cut a piece to 1/2 inch by 2 1/4 inches. And I'm going to take the stamp that is a little hello. We're going to use that Blackberry Bliss ink and stamp it right in the middle in the center. All right, now I am going to use my lovely labels punch here, and this allows you to punch pieces that are 1/2 inch, 3/4 of an inch, and 1 inch. and I'm just going to slide it in there. And the important thing is you flip it over and you make sure that your tiny piece of paper is centered in the middle, because for the 1/2 inch, it's very easy for this to get off center. So just kind of move it around until it's seated real nice at the end and it's right in the middle. And I'm going to turn it around and do the same thing to the other side. There we have an itty bitty sentiment. I'm also going to raise that up on dimensionals because, you know, why not? And this is going to go down here on the bottom, and what that allows you to do is you will actually see it when you open the card up on the inside as well. So we're just going to put that little hello right down here. So when you open up the card, there we go, a little hello, hope you're feeling better. And that is our fall themed Get Well card. I hope you enjoyed this video. Have a fabulous rest of your day and stay crafty. Thanks, friends.